Hey guys, it's Colleen from the Good Wives Guide to True Crime and Murder by Design, and today is my True Crime Tidbit. Excuse me having to use these headphones. Currently, my current headphones were chewed through by one of my cats, and so I'm awaiting not that one. I'm awaiting the new headphones to arrive, so I'm using these for now. So today, I hope you guys have had a good Friday. Happy Friday. I hope everybody had a good week. And if you live in the south along the coast, please stay safe from the hurricane that is coming in. We have been super busy over here with the Good Wives and Murder by Design as usual. Tonight, you definitely want to join us for our live where we will be discussing updates to the Gannon Stout Leticia Stout case, which we brought to you guys over this winter, spring, summer, keeping you guys informed because that case is crazy. More like she's insane. We'll get into that tonight. But today, I'm going to talk to you about some recent cases involving parents killing their kids or abuse cases that have really hit the news this week. And there's not a ton of information on these cases, so that's why I'm bringing you guys a couple of them. You guys know I always talk about these really sad cases, but I find them so tragic and interesting that it's something that I feel has to be talked about so that we all know that this is happening out there and can always be on the lookout to see if we can help a child in need. So, first update is one that I want to give on 2-year-old Malia Bass from Texas. She was found dead in the Bryce Bayou in August, and now her mom and her mother's boyfriend have been arrested. So originally on August 22nd, an Amber Alert was put out after her mom said she left the toddler alone on the playground outside their apartment while she cooked breakfast. I'm sorry, but you don't leave a 2-year-old on a playground alone while you're inside. I mean, even if there wasn't anything nefarious going on in that home, that's such an easy place for somebody to kidnap a child. But in this case, clearly that's not what happened. So this mom, she's 20, the boyfriend's 21, have been charged with injury to a child and tampering with evidence by moving Malia's body. On autopsy, this toddler had a broken arm and blunt force trauma in a loop shape, which they believe is from being hit with an extension cord or a hanger. But the autopsy isn't fully complete yet, so we'll know more when it is done. But apparently, Thompson, who is the boyfriend, allegedly confessed but in his events, he said that Malia's mom beat the toddler with a hairbrush because she wouldn't sleep and was crying. Then they put her in a broom closet naked and woke up the next day to find her dead. And then there is video that shows Thompson putting the toddler in a trash can and that they dumped her body in a storm drain nearby where she then floated to the bayou. So just horrifying, tragic. I'm not sure I 100% believe his story. This is a 2-year-old with a broken arm and most likely more damage that we don't know yet. Why would you put her in a broom closet naked? And how did she actually die if you woke up and she was dead in the closet? How did she die? We don't know that yet. But then to put her little body in a trash can and dump it in a storm drain, and luckily, she was able to float to an area where she was recovered. But it's disgusting, it's tragic, and I will be looking for more information that comes out. But I'm glad that these two were arrested. The next case that I'm going to cover is Emma Cole. This is another case where I'm glad some people are arrested finally. So over a year ago, the remains of a 3-year-old girl were found in Smyrna in Delaware. Smyrna, Smyrna, I think. Her remains were found at a softball field complex in Delaware by a dog walker. When she was found, she had been dead for several weeks or even longer. She was unidentified and they had dubbed her Baby L. But now she has been identified as Emma Cole, and her parents were arrested in Pennsylvania. So Brandon and Christy Haas are arrested and being held awaiting extradition. They used to live in this town. They were married in 2016. Emma is Christy's daughter. When Emma was found, so, over a year ago, the couple was actually only living a little more than a mile away from the softball fields. And yeah, fighting crime, they're sad, they're disturbing. I have no idea what's wrong with people. What bothers me in this case is, so they live a mile away from these fields, and they were, in October 2019, they were evicted. So this seems to be like after Emma was dead. They filed for bankruptcy twice that year. But in those documents, they did not even mention Emma, nor did it appear that they ever reported her missing. So you know that you killed your daughter over a year ago and you never said anything. And based on their social media, it looks like there may have also been another little girl and a little boy and a young child, so a total of 4 kids in their custody. But the police are not releasing any more details on those children. Very little has been said, but Christy Haas has an extradition hearing on November 4th, so I will be waiting for that. But this bothers me because how did nobody report a missing child, missing 3-year-old, for over a year? Whether it be family or friends, somebody be like, "Where's your kid?" I don't know. I would want to know where my friend's kid is, or where's my daughter's kid. That's kind of how, with Casey Anthony case, I want to see Kaylee. Well, she's with the nanny. Well, I'm going to go. I want to see Kaylee. Well, you can't because she's dead. So I'm going to be waiting for more details because this is insane. But she been identified for so long, and had already been dead for so long when they found her, and that's how they weren't able to identify her until recently. The next case that I'm going to talk about is very recent. It was just this week. So this is a case of 2 twin 9-year-old girls who were stabbed and killed by their father, Timothy Takehara, in Placentia, California. So on Wednesday night, October 7th, the father stabbed these girls to death and then killed himself. So the police have released the 911 call that was made by the girl's mother, who was home at the time, along with I believe his mom, and where she says, "My husband stabbed my children." The girls were found in the living room, and their father's body was found across the street on the sidewalk after he committed suicide. This is it. That's all we know in this case so far. We don't know, a past history of these people. Why? We don't know that yet. Obviously, this just happened a day or so ago. So as I find out more information, as more information comes to light, I will share that with you guys. But it's new. But then these next 2 cases are ones where luckily the children are alive. So in North Miami Beach, 35-year-old Elidiesneins, so it's Elidien or Iesneins, Perez, Mrs. 35-year-old Perez, was arrested last month because one of her children had reported that their mom hadn't enrolled them in school. She was arrested on multiple counts of child neglect for abandoning her 7 children, ages between 4 and 17, in their home with barely anything to eat, not enrolled in school, and no medical care. She'd abandoned them for over a month. One of the children is a 15-year-old with cerebral palsy, and he said his mom was supposed to be getting him physical therapy, but his mom didn't take him, and they had said that their mom hadn't taken them to a doctor or a dentist in 5 years. Literally abandoned them in a home for a month. The police had said that they only found a very small amount of rice and chicken in the home that they were rationing. The kids have said that they want to be put into foster care rather than be back with their mom. Obviously. The kids also said that a family friend in California said that they would take these 7 kids. But the mom refused to give up parental rights because she got checks every month for 2 of the kids. And so why? Why did she abandon them for a month? Where did she go? So it's reported that the mom actually went to live with her husband, who was actually arrested back in July, around the time she abandoned them, for abusing the 16 and 17-year-old kids. And that she chose to go to him, and she couldn't take the kids because there's a no contact order. So she chose a man over her kids. And 4 to 17 years old, 7 kids, one of them is medically disabled with cerebral palsy. She abandons them in a home with no medical care, no education, no food, nothing, to go be with the man who abused, and I don't know whether that's sexual abuse or physical abuse, her 16 and 17-year-olds. Selfish is not even a word big enough to describe that. I've said it many times. You guys know that I watch way too much Steve Wilkos. I DVR it. And I haven't watched it recently because I just have not had any time. So I've got like 60 episodes DVR'd that I need to catch up on. So I don't know if this case has been talked about. It could have been. It's definitely something that they have covered before. So I'll let you guys know if I find any cases on there. And then finally, last case, and this is a kid who really saved themselves. So on Monday, October 5th, the police in Spring Hill, Florida, responded to a fire at a home where they believed it was arson. So when they arrived at the door of the room with the fire, it had 2 locks on the outside. There was a board that was screwed over the door. The only window was covered, and the electricity to the room had been cut off. The room was bare except a mattress and a blanket, and there was no natural or artificial light. They found feces on the wall and urine on the floor. And authorities have now said that a young child had been locked in the room and set the mattress on fire in an attempt to escape. So the adults in the home, Kelley and Daniel Davis, are facing charges of aggravated child abuse. They have admitted that since March, they have kept the child locked in the room for 11 to 12 hours overnight, plus whenever the child misbehaved. So really, probably all the time. Due to child privacy laws, the age and gender of this child have not been released. Unfortunately, this wasn't the only time deputies had visited the home. In February and July, calls were made to 911 from the home, but the caller always hung up. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that was that child calling for help and then was caught. So it reminds me of like in the Lacey Spears case, how there were CPS reports and then, knock on the door. Oh, they didn't answer. Okay, bye. Like, I mean, something's up there. And then on August 26th, a neighbor called the sheriff because they had said a child was rummaging through a refrigerator unsupervised in the garage of the home. On those visits, the police didn't report anything suspicious, even when they talked to the kid, which I'm sure the parents were there, or that kid had been threatened to not say anything. And clearly they didn't go look in the home, like around. And of course, the parents claimed the child had behavioral issues, probably an excuse in case the kid did say something. According to the reports, the child was given a pack of matches from another child in the home and started the fire. Apparently, they have 5 daughters, and I'm thinking in addition to this victim, and none of them were treated the same way. And the ages range from an infant, so a baby, to 10 years old. So good on whichever kid gave this kid a pack of matches, so that way the kid could set his or her mattress on fire to get help, because they ended up saving themselves. Who knows what would have happened to that poor child, being locked in a room with 2 locks and windows covered, just a mattress and a blanket, not given obviously the opportunity to use the restroom. Windows covered for months, at least since March, that they've been doing that. And we don't know why yet. There's still not a ton of information coming out. along with all these cases, like I said, once I get more information, I will bring that to you guys. But so luckily in these last two cases, the children are alive and are now in the custody of this state and Child Protective Services. And hopefully they never have to deal with a situation like that ever again. In the cases where the children were killed, as more information comes out in that, I will let you know. But I wanted to cover these cases today since we're going to be covering more information on the Gannon Stout case, and he was killed by Leticia Stout, his stepmom, later tonight. So you definitely want to come back, just like the banner says. Don't forget to join us live at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight for our interview and our coverage of this case. And our Scott Peterson, my episode, will be coming out very, very shortly. It's recorded now. I'm just editing it. Sorry that there was that corruption in the files, but we are getting it together, and hopefully we can have the whole thing out for you guys as soon as possible. But again, come back tonight. You definitely don't want to miss this. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.